Here I'm at Fromista, and this is part of the irrigation system, breaching its own walls, rather aggressively actually. But it's very pretty. Looking back from whence I came this morning, I panned to this little church just because I thought to myself, what stories, what support, what agonies have been supported, what joys in this little country church, and how far back, and still today? Not much out here. My guess is that these used to hold electric lights, but when they broke, they abandoned them. Here the Arrow people have introduced a little bit of whimsy, which is kind of cute. Looks like little burrow tracks, but also a couple of little kids' footprints. This is just too iconic a picture to pass up. And this must be the little town of Revenga de Campos, with the church poking over the top. Here's this town's pretty little square, shaded lovely with those trees, overlooked by this cathedral. There's some kind of a bird's nest up on top of there, which is neat. It's not a cathedral, it's a church, Scott. A stork or something like that, maybe? Who knows for sure. The sign back there said 425 kilometers Santiago. And here's a drawing of the little town someone made in 2003. So this is my room, and I am the first one here. So I've chosen this bed over here. And here is the bathrooms, caballeros, and showers, nicely done, beautifully done. As you can see, in America is the internet, along with a little kitchenette. So here we are in the compound. Over here is where I can wash clothes. And there's also a washing machine in here apparently. And drying racks, very well done. Yep. There's the cocina, open at 1 o'clock. And here's the church that the convent is a part of, with apparently the either obligatory or convenient location for a bird's nest, and a rather large bird. And all around me is the sound of bells because it's just exactly noon. Here a pretty little outside chapel. I offered the sister, who is a superior who speaks English, knows of Yellowstone National Park. I told her I'd be happy to help if there's anything they needed. I'm kind of almost at the heart of Carrion, the Conde, or however you pronounce it. And apparently this is where the Camino de Santiago goes tomorrow morning. The cute little statue of the pilgrim, advertising a guitar concert tonight. And this appears to be the center of town. I walked by this a little bit earlier, just a few minutes ago, and it was open, so I thought I'd better come inside. But notice, I just noticed this, the layers of stone and brick. I wonder what it implies in terms of time. So this is Iglesia de Santa Maria, Carrion de los Condes. All of that is probably not structural. This is a really small town to have such an impressive sized church, though. Fairly impressive side chapel on the south side of the aisle. I mean, of the nave. This is the aisle. And here, this pretty, relaxing, shaded courtyard of the main entrance of the church. Simple in its exterior. Looking back to the east, I'm going to pan 360 just to give you an idea of the flatness of this part of the Maseta between Burgos and Leon that is both complained of and lauded. Complained of for being boring because of its flatness, and it is flat. But to me, it's very, very interesting. Just a totally different environment than the mountains. I think the difference is between those people who see everything in a very simple, I like this, I don't like that, therefore anything I don't like isn't worth blah blah blah. And to a person whose mind's truly open, everything is potentially beautiful, and probably is. There in the distance you can see one of the many sets of hunters. They're out shooting apparently a little bird that can't fly. Looking through and down these rows of trees is pretty in its own way. And the seemingly endless fields of mown hay. Not exactly sure what this first only little town is that we've seen. My guide paper suggested about 17 plus kilometers to the first town. This may or may not be it, I don't know. The little town we just passed through is Calzadilla de la Cueza. Cueza? Earlier this morning, coming from the east, we were up on that bench for most of the morning. Dropped down through that little town, walked along inside that valley, and have just come up on top. And here, looking to the north, is a relatively modest distance. And this is west. Here I'm in the very small town of Ledigos, and here another from Buenos Dias, Senor. Another form of transportation we haven't seen recently, or at all on this trip, although I've seen the footprints of. And apparently that little guy's about ready to go to work. Here I am, pretty early in the morning, maybe around 7. Nobody's up. Well, somebody just turned the light on in the albergue or the bar to my right. There's my moon up there in this old church. This is the bar. Hopefully it'll be open for my compatriots who need their shot of coffee. Coming back from way over there somewhere. There's the sun just breaking up over the horizon.